Hi, all. A very good evening. Um, so, yesterday we spoke about Cloud Anthropic, AWS Cloud, Terraform, DevOps, many things. Today I'm going to talk about Terraform. Specifically, what are the phases in Terraform? In Terraform, we first initialize the directory, that is the Terraform init command. Post that, we write all the files, that is main.tf, site.auto.tf, vars, variables.tf, output.tf. We write the files when writing the files in main.tf. We always put the provider version. What is a provider version? When you consider AWS, GCP, Azure, all these providers will be having certain set of codes that has to be deployed in the Terraform. Those codes needs a provider version that is provided by the Google Cloud providers itself. Got it? Considering the fact that Terraform initialize is Terraform init, it will initialize the directory to your local in your local machine. After that, we have to uh, do the skeleton, that is Terraform plan. When you give Terraform plan, it will show us the skeleton of the files or the infrastructure that is going to be provisioned. For example, if you are going to create one EC2 instance, and one security group, one load balancer, one cloud front. All these things are mentioned in the site.out.tf, variables.tf, main.tf. Then, when you declare Terraform plan, it will show you the output. Like these are the things that are going to be provisioned. When you click Terraform apply, it will provision the infrastructure for you. Okay. Now, considering interview scenarios, what will happen if you want to uh, create multiple environments? For example, prod environment, non-prod environment, separate codes you need to use. In this case, you can create Terraform workspace like dev, test, prod account, non-prod account. For various accounts or for various use cases or for various purpose, you can use accounts like Terraform workspace dev, Terraform workspace non-prod. Like this, you can segregate. Once this is done, you have to deploy the code. Okay, consider this scenario. You have Terraform in your local VS code, and when you are deploying it, it is getting deployed in your local machine itself. It is getting deployed or it's getting run. What if in DevOps scenario where your code runs? Do you have any understanding? We have various DevOps tools like CodeFresh, Harness, uh, GitHub, Jenkins, declarative pipeline, all these things. Okay, let's consider the fact you are using GitHub. In GitHub, you have Terraform code, and then you have a Jenkins mission running, and GitHub is integrated with Jenkins via webhook, or GitHub can be also used for GitHub actions in which your code will get deployed. Okay, when you have Terraform codes in GitHub repositories, under the repositories you create multiple files. When you give git push, it has to get deployed somewhere, or when you commit the changes, it has to be deployed somewhere. Where it gets deployed? It get deployed in the Jenkins server itself. In CodeFresh, you have automated CI/CD. It has an inbuilt Docker container running. Your code will get deployed in the container itself. In GitHub Jenkins, webhook, and GitHub Actions. In GitHub Actions, the code will get deployed in the GitHub Actions. In Jenkins, the code will get deployed in the Jenkins server. These are all interview questions I wanted to share with you. Apart from this, what are the various type of things that you can do with DevOps? DevOps is automated pipeline or automated CI/CD, which is used in order to automate your manual process. There are two type of scenarios. One is you have approval stage, and then your pipeline will execute. Else you have direct git push stage, using which you can directly deploy your code without an approval. In real time cases, when you consider in an organization, when you are working under Jira Atlassian products, you have to use approval stage. Your agile or scrum master will approve it when you commit the code. These are the things that happens in DevOps and Terraform. In Terraform, what is drift? Drift means when you give Terraform plan, it will show us drift. That means your existing infrastructure is not mapped with the infrastructure that is present in the Terraform codes. In this case, you can do a Terraform refresh so that your state file will get refreshed with the code that is present or the infrastructure provisioning resources that is present, or you can manually import the mismatching resource inside the state file. Where you will store the state file? In many interview questions, they will ask you where you store the state file. Many answer it as it is getting stored in GitHub. No, when you are working with state files, it has to be present in a secured folder. In AWS, we have S3 storage. The Terraform state files will always be stored in the S3 storage, and then the state file versioning can be enabled, like S3 object versioning, and you can log the state file by using DynamoDB as a backend. The architecture comes like this: like first Terraform, S3 as a backend, and comes the state files in S3. To S3, the backend will be DynamoDB. DynamoDB is used in order to log the state files. Okay, so we have discussed about DevOps, Terraform, Terraform workspaces, Terraform plan, apply, drift, work, and various things we discussed, right? So if you have any questions, you can please post it in the comments. I will be happy to connect. In my next video, we'll be talking about Docker and Kubernetes. Stay tuned. Have a happy weekend.